All right, we should be live in about 2 seconds, hopefully.
I think Kurt might join us too. Maybe Bobby D too. I'm not sure.
Oh, wow, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't sure. So I only
I,
mentioned
I,
you,
I
but
sent them the all the info. He said he wanted to come.
very cool. All right, so we are definitely live now, and we're on YouTube for another Music NFT Friday. It's only our second Music NFT Friday, and we are joined by Scott Healy, longtime Conan O'Brien keyboard player and phenomenal monster keyboard player, actually. Just an incredible musician. I was just listening to one of his songs, and I could hardly turn it off. I thought we were going to be late, man. Oh, God.
I'm trying to adjust my lighting. I've got really bad lighting today for some reason.
Yeah, if you haven't heard it out there, the Biscodini organ trio. I was just listening to 6 Foot Distance, and man, that song, it just comes in with this melody and it grabs you, and I just want to listen to that song all day. And I've been listening to a bunch of it this morning, and I get this feeling when I listen to it, man. It's just like it's like humanity overcoming or something, like in the face of this pandemic. And some of the songs have such a like a freewheeling jazz improvisation, like Canyon Road, man. Like I love the way that one just like just it feels so free or whatever. And then you have others that are more composed and definitely like some of the finest songwriting, right? Like 6 Foot Distance. And there's just there's so much to that record. And what was going through your mind? I think people want to know that, right? When you're coming up with these songs, and you've got these titles like 6 Foot Distance or The Mask or whatever, right? And all
Right.
these things. Was this like consciously a pandemic record very much?
Oh, absolutely. It was like the third day of the pandemic, maybe even the first day of the lockdown here in LA. I mean, one day in LA, obviously they gave the order, and everyone was like, stay home order. And it was a lockdown, and it was, I mean, you all were there, so I don't have to tell you, but I remember it was raining, and Kurt Biscara called me, and we were just like flipping out because everything was off and canceled, and everyone was so weird. And he said, let's make some music. I was like, there's no way, there's no way we can do anything, right? We could barely figure out how to get to the grocery store, not like we're in danger, but it's just mentally it was just not a creative place. But Kurt sat down and in the studio and played a song on the drums, played a tune, wrote a tune. So he wrote basically a beat, but it had a form. And he sent it to me and said, let's do a tune. Let's, we'll see what happens. And I said, I was very skeptical, but yeah, I think that these tunes were born out of that sort of need to cope creatively, but also just need to reach out and stay connected, because it did work. I was surprised, and it got better.
Really well.
Yeah, the first tune we did was I can't remember. It was I think it was the third one. The third one is anyway. I'll ask Kurt when he comes on which one that we did first. But anyway,
yeah, I got some questions for him too about the drumming of what he had in his mind.
Yeah, the songwriting. I mean, it wasn't easy. The first one didn't come the way that the rest of them did. But I on most of them, I put the melody and the chords and figured out what to do. But the germ of the idea was Kurt's drum thing, and the drum track was only like 2.5 minutes long, and that's not a jazz tune. So we had like a pop sensibility right away. So you're calling them songs. They sort of do feel like songs. They don't feel like the standard jazz tune where you play it, play, and then there's lots of solos and maybe some development and some intricate stuff.
To me as a listener, I have to say, like, okay, I'm not like a jazz musician, I play a lot of cowboy chords on the guitar. There might be a minor six in there or something, but I've taken jazz appreciation, and I love jazz, and to me it's like the way that you guys did it, something about it, it's just like, for me as a listener, it feels perfect. The way the songs, like the way it flows from one part into the next. I don't know if it's just that little extra bit of composition or something that you guys had, whatever it was, but it was like the magic ingredient, at least for me as a listener, I feel like.
I think it's because we didn't have anything that was open-ended, so everything had to be finished. before we moved it along. I had to finish my organ part, did it right here, and I did it sort of live with the kind of trying to get a live feel, playing the left hand bass and the right hand. You can't really do that separately because the field gets different. So you sort of have to put yourself in a live space. And by the time you finish that, you have to finish your part before you send it to the next player who hasn't done it yet. So I was sending it to John Cudini, the guitar player, trying to figure out. I sort of knew what he was going to do. I had an idea, but still, that barrier, I guess I'd call it a barrier. You have like a hard ending. You know when to stop. That makes you write stuff that's more direct, more accessible, and turns out that that was really the key to the record, was that every tune sort of starts, plays, and then stops and makes a statement and then goes to the next one. It's not like we're not stretching at all. Solos are pretty much limited to 8 bars. So it's a jazz record with a pop sensibility. And so that's why they work in that direct way. I think that's what you're responding to.
Yeah, and it's the way the parts flow into one another for me too. It's like there's nothing forced. There's nothing about it that feels like, oh, I wonder where this is going. It's like, oh my God, I know where this is going. It's going the perfect place. You know what I mean? And it just flows like, like every part seems like it comes naturally from the part that came before.
That's like a composition like concept, where one phrase asks a question, the next phrase answers it, and then moves on. So you're constantly trying to move your energy forward, but also just sort of move your expectation forward.
Yeah,
that's sort of the challenge of writing music a lot of times.
So when you got that drum beat for, say, 6 foot distance, right? And that's like, is that like a 12/4 or something? Because it's like, it's got that triplet feel.
Like a compound meter. Ding, 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 da, 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 da. I mean, those are compound meter. You guys, it's not only is it hard to write, it's hard to put in your sequencer, because you've got, exactly. And you don't want to put your eighth, you don't want it to be an eighth note beat, right? You want it to be click, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's really a 6/8, sort of like an Afro-Cuban feel. We call it 6/8. So
okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if it was 6/8 or 12/4, but it's like,
it doesn't matter,
like
because
1,
you've
2,
got
3,
all
2,
these
2, 3.
different subdivisions. It could be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, da 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 da. But it can also be 2, da 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 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's the that's the inner. There are all these hidden inner beats in that music. So that's why it's very evocative. Plus, it's sort of more of a modal feel, like I guess D minor, B flat, D minor modal. For all you jazz heads out there.
This is awesome. This is the kind of stuff you're gonna get. Like, tell people what's in this unlockable content for all the jazz heads.
Oh, for all you jazz heads and all you tech heads. I mean, if we feel feeling good in a couple minutes, we can actually create a new NFT using tracks, stems, Bobby Daspit's, Bobby D's tracks and stems from one of the tunes, Biscodini Boogaloo, one of the particularly funky ones, which would be,
yes, that is an amazing track. That's for sure.
Tracks, and so we actually have we have them loaded into Pro Tools files and saved in a folder. So you've got the Pro Tools files, and you've got audio files also, so you can export the audio files into your own DAW, or you could just listen to them too. You could export them one-on-one into a sampler and chop them up, or do whatever you want. You're getting full res audio files.
That's awesome. So everyone listening, he's going to mint that right here live.
Yeah.
And that is the stems, the actual audio tracks from the song Biscodini.
Well, we have the actual drum tracks broken up into every microphone. That's
oh my God,
recorded. So that's in one Pro Tools session. The other Pro Tools session, it will be a stereo drum mix on one track, and then the left-hand bass part from the organ in audio, then the right hand in audio, and then a guitar, probably mono guitar, maybe stereo. I don't know what it is. So basically, those are the stems. That's what we call them. I guess the mix tracks. just sort of
Wow.
ways you can take all these parts isolated. And so we're calling it the Biscodini remix package _1.
Wow. That
I'm
sounds
also going to put
incredible.
in the MIDI file of the organ part. So this, I'm able to record the Hammond digital B3 with discrete channels on the left hand and the right hand. So I've got the, in real time, I can record it and save it as a performance, which is separated. So that's really
Wow.
cool. You can
That really is.
look at the bass line and the right hand isolated in
Wow.
MIDI format. so,
So,
so all you techies out there, that's music geeks, that's going to
so
be.
this must be a lot of tracks.
Well, actually, yeah, it is. It's a nice looking session. It's a Bobby D really did a great job.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. And I mean, just, for three people, a lot of people don't realize how much goes into a song. I think this is actually, perfect for people to realize, like, okay, there's a lot of art people out there that can make an artwork a day or whatever in the NFT world. Like the amount of work, the amount of hours, the amount of people that have to be involved in something like this. I mean, it's incredible. And you had a great engineer, right? Bobby Daspit, you were
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, Bobby Desmond. He's worked
We
with
heard
everybody.
his, yeah, we heard his credentials last time. Obviously, I mean, that it's not cheap to get someone like that to work on a record, right?
Well, I mean, I say that everyone, Kurt is my secret weapon. I'm his secret weapon. And then Bobby D's our secret. I mean, Johnny Cudini, secret weapon.
Yeah, man, his
So,
guitar playing. Oh man.
yeah. I mean, I'm doing all this tech stuff. Bobby's doing all this tech stuff. Johnny just opens up his computer and he takes his box, his guitar, plugs it plugs it right in. No amp.
Yeah.
Right into the
He,
amp. I mean, maybe he used an amp. I don't know.
yeah, that's nice. No, it's a great sound.
No trinkets, no effects, nothing. Just like go right in, straight ahead, old school.
That's
No, not
awesome.
even compression.
Really, yeah, just
Yeah.
maybe some tube compression or something. And yeah, that's
No, not from him, not from John.
oh, that's right. The jazz sound, you guys have a pretty clean. Yeah, he probably uses like a Roland amp or something, or does he use a tube amp?
I'm not sure what he uses. He's got his own thing, and I'm not sure he'd ever done it before and ever done
Okay.
a remote recording.
I forgot about that. The jazz artists actually use like solid state amps for their
Yeah,
guitars.
they love the solid state amps. Yeah, because they've got a little ping in them. A little. It carries through, but it's also got still a very warm sound.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. It's beautiful sound. It's incredible. But I just assume when you have a sound that beautiful, oh, that's got to come from some tubes.
Well,
right?
6 Foot Distance is a really good example. I expected him to play a soaring guitar solo at the end as we walk off into the sunset, right? As it fades out. And his playing is so understated, and that kind of playing brings you into the track even more. Mm-hmm. So where I thought he was going to go one direction, he goes a totally different direction. It's another thing.
Like he plays the song, like what he plays, it's the song, it's not disconnected at all. There are places where it gets into the flight of fancy, like Canyon Road. You both definitely like, we're soloing, in that song and all that. But I mean, yeah, for the most part, it's a beautiful thing to see this unit function, or hear it.
Thank you. We're really proud of the record, and it's good. It's doing really well on jazz radio, and we always say it's like a kind of record you can listen to, because
oh man, I can't stop listening to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should. Do you want to try the live? Were you going to share the screen again?
Yeah, I could share the screen. I mean, I could show you. Let me.
This is exciting, man. Everyone's so impressed with your technical and musical abilities.
You have to enable my screen sharing.
Oh, I do. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. Totally.
We'll do a seminar on working Zoom too, because I could certainly use it.
Okay, I think that should work now. Oh, and Kurt is here.
Kirky B.
Hey, Kurt. Can you hear me, Kurt? I think you might be muted. I can hear you now.
Am I too late?
No. Great to see you, man. We were just.
Hey, before I share my screen, let's just talk to Kurt for a minute before we start in the NFT. What's
absolutely,
happening,
yeah.
I'm so sorry. I slept in. I had every intention to be on.
you're living that musician life, man. Staying up late.
I know.
He's operating on like UTC time or something. You know,
Yeah,
he's in India or something.
I know. Hold on, let me just catch up coffee wise, and I'll be right there.
Well, that looks good. Yeah. Well, actually, I was just admiring some of your drum tracks, and we're gonna be, I guess, minting an NFT with some of your drum tracks. Quite a few, I guess, because it's quite a few microphones, right? That's pretty
Yes,
interesting.
yes.
So, how many mics did you have on your drums there?
Well, it's a total of eight. Total of eight drums, eight drum tracks.
Wow.
Pick, snare, hat, one tom, tom one, tom two, an overhead left, overhead right, which is the overview of the drums, and then a room mic. So yeah, a total of eight drum tracks.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, I was going to ask you about your whole process and what that was like, recording these drum tracks first, right? Did you have like kind of an idea of what the melody or anything would sound like, or were you just like playing like, okay, like I'm going to play one song in this style or something and see what they come up with? Or?
Yeah, my whole concept of it, you know, by myself, thinking thinking outwardly, um, was that knowing that John and Scott would be adding their thing to it, I had to think in terms of a song. So I heard it in my head. I didn't know what key it would be in or what the melody would be like, but I would just play in a song form. So, and then I would just pick a style. I'd say, okay, I don't know, let's make this one a bossa nova. I don't know. I'll go with the song title and then play the style and see what happens. And then so I'd play it in a song form from top to bottom, and then would pray that these guys would figure out something, which they did just effortlessly. So that was the
Awesome.
beauty of it. Yeah.
What form is this one, the Biscodini Boogaloo that we're doing today? What did you have in mind for that one?
Um, I was thinking like there was a show in the late '60s, early '70s called Laugh In.
Yeah,
Um, so I was thinking in those terms. I was thinking like that. I was thinking um, James Bond, The Avengers. I was thinking that kind of thing, and they're like really
nice.
groovy kind of people. And I thought, well, I know I'm not groovy, but Scott and John are. So let me try to be groovy like those guys. And
Oh,
then,
you're pretty groovy, man. I was grooving out to your drums this morning. I couldn't stop
oh,
playing that song 6 Foot Distance too,
oh
man.
man, oh yeah,
That one grabs me. I like the triplet feel or whatever. And just
yeah.
man.
Thank you. Yeah, well, these guys, they're
He was
amazing.
talking about 6 foot distance, and why that's like a really the 12 that 12/8 feel, the 12/4, the 6/8 feel is a really cool. The compound meter, the way
Yeah,
it's kind of like lopes around.
right.
He was talking about
Yeah.
that one because I thought that was a really amazing track when I first heard it.
Yeah, it was just so much fun to do by myself because I was always thinking of the late great Ndugu Chancellor,
Yeah,
and he'd always tell me that that was one of his favorite uh, time signatures to play in.
yeah,
Uh,
because you're in three, you're in two, you're in
yeah,
four.
yeah, you can count it in six.
You can count it in six, and
It
it's
could
just
be a
it always
tarantella. It could be a
yeah,
waltz.
it could, yeah, exactly. It could go anywhere.
Yeah, so I don't know. 6 foot distance, I thought, okay, 6 feet, it's like, all right, time to play in six.
Yeah.
But now Dr. Fauci is saying 3 feet.
Right. We got to
We're
do
gonna have to
two.
do a waltz next or
We'll have to
something.
do a waltz, right? Quarantine waltz.
Or in my native dance, let's see, uh, in the Philippines, they do a thing called the tilikaling, which is with two sticks, and they play in three, and then the two dancers dance in between the sticks with their feet. I don't know. I can't
Oh,
do it.
that's amazing.
Wow. Wow, that's yeah. I bet that sounds a lot better than probably like a waltz. But no, man, I love it. And it's great to hear. So were you surprised when you heard some of the things that Scott came up with and that John came up with?
You know, I was and I wasn't because they're such great musicians. So I was like, oh, of course this is going to be great. But then I was blown away at how quickly they came up with it, and how, without really speaking to one another, how they were able to sew it all together in such a way that I was so blown away once I loaded up their tracks into everything and I was able to hear it for the first time and go, oh my God, and then just send it right away to Bob Daspit and he mixed it.
Yeah, I bet you were as blown away as I was. I mean, when I heard it, because it just, to me, it sounds like you guys got jazz right. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. I mean, as a listener, I
Well,
mean,
we all love playing it. We all love listening to it. And I think, it just comes out naturally, like how the blood flows in us,
Plus, we slipped a little R&B and a little rock and roll in there too.
which we all have in
yeah,
our blood as well.
We sort of stealthily did a very sort of almost hybrid record. It was cool.
yeah,
Yeah. 'Cause-
yeah. It probably gives someone like me something to grab onto or whatever, a handle to hold, because yeah, I mean, it's, but I mean, that's like jazz fusion was bringing in the straight rock beat and all that,
But
but
there's definitely a shuffle in there, so you're definitely
Yeah.
going to hear some jazz.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, I like the shuffle. That's just it, coming from a blues background and everything. And yeah, so when I hear that,
Well, that was the whole thing, was just trying to make a record that everyone could enjoy, us first enjoying it, There's a saying, that when people ask, oh, who's your favorite drummer or who's your favorite keyboard player? And the answer is me. And it's not coming from an egotistical standpoint, as it is just, like, who else is going to cheer you on? So you got to cheer yourself on.
oh yeah.
And,
If you don't believe in
kind of
it, who will, right?
right. And it's like self-love, if you don't love yourself first, you can't love others. So I think with us, it was kind of like, let's love what we're doing here, and then hopefully people love it.
But it was what was amazing about the process was, I mean, I met Kurt in a studio. We're playing, playing something that had to be, that was already written, that had to be, we were recording, I think, an album track and for a record date. And this is the process backwards and starting from the drummer. I mean, that was really amazing. You could do a full tune that sounds like a tune, and it's just a drum part. I'm hearing boom, boom, bop, bop, boom, 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 bop, boom. I'm hearing this, and I'm like, there's a tune there, and then you could hear the 8 bars come to an end. There's a 4-bar interlude, and he sends me a little road map on a napkin. Scans it and takes a picture of it and sends it, because obviously we're remote, so we weren't in the studio. We didn't have the tune done. We had no idea sort of what it was going to sound like, but we started it. And we started it with a beginning and an end, and that's why the record works, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his idea.
Well, I couldn't think of any other idea. I mean, we could have gone about
We could
it.
have passed ideas back and forth for months and said, I think the bridge should be longer.
But then by then, you have 3 expert, master builders, and nothing gets built. So I thought, well, if I'm the drummer, let me at least provide the foundation. And what's great about today's technology is that you could always chop it up and rebuild. So I thought, well, okay, if I at least start, there's a starting point right there. And if they don't like it, well, we'll change it. We'll take 4 bars and make it 8. We'll take the chorus section, and if it's too long, we'll shorten it down. But because they're masterful, they just went with it. And
Yeah, we made very few changes, and I was like, oh, great! I can really take time and make sure the bass is perfectly in time, and fix all of my mistakes and everything. But when it came down, when I tried to do that, the feel was wrong. If I tracked the bass separately from the right hand of the organ, it's just sitting right here. It didn't feel right.
right.
So I found that the way to get the live feel was just to try and approach it as doing a full take.
Well, the feel is everything. Yeah. I mean, I had the same problem. It's like I can never get the same feel that I get playing my guitar and singing at the same time. If I
Right.
try to do the guitar separately, and every engineer hates that, because like having those 2 loud sound sources right next to each other, they're just like, that's not okay. But
Right.
yet, like, I cannot get the feel any other way. So I totally know where you're coming from there.
When I was doing sessions in New York, there were a couple producers who I would play the piano track, maybe it was a demo, or maybe it was maybe I was accompanying somebody, or doing a guide track or a bed. And they would take my performance, and the first thing they would do, I would look on the screen, they'd be quantizing my performance. I'm like, why are you quantizing this? Because it's all about the feel, well, we want to make sure, because a lot of people are going to be playing along with you, so got to make sure you're right on the beat, so we don't want to build up any errors. That's sort of a whole thing about recording. You start assembling things through track by track by track. You got to make sure it's everyone's getting the same reference.
Yeah, I can't imagine taking your playing and trying to quantize it on you, man.
And
That's great.
You start getting into this home recording thing where you're tracking, especially tracking like a creative tune that's like got a solo, and you can't really get granular with your part. You got to like start it at the beginning and go for it.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
I think we all found that I used the first take on a bunch of those solos.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Those are that's the first take. And I'm not saying I didn't go back and move a couple notes, or there was a couple things where I actually made some noises, and we left one of them in the record, but they were all, I was able to fix, if anything was egregious, like I had a bunch of stuck MIDI notes. We just did something yesterday.
This is from yesterday, by the way, and you can tell this is my shorthand for the drummer, and it's just bars essentially with really, really bad notation.
Nice. I have a bunch of sheets that look something like that, definitely.
But it
I know what you're talking
it's just
about.
a roadmap, and
this is what
this
is what I did.
Yeah, right. So you can see the difference
you guys
between
are making
the
me
keyboard
feel
player
better now, actually.
Yeah. So
we haven't heard what
awesome.
John hasn't done his thing yet.
I can't wait. So you're working on a new tune right now.
We're doing a follow-up for an interview next week. We just started a tune, and
it's called Mr. Mike.
Yeah.
Wow. Mr. Mike. That sounds awesome. Yeah. So did I hear that was getting mixed right now? Is that right? You're that far or no?
We're halfway through. We need John to finish his portion, and then we need to send it to Bob Daspit.
I see.
It would have been done a day earlier, but we had a big power failure here in Hollywood 2 days ago.
Oh man, sorry to hear that. Yeah, no, that's cool. So John still is going to be working on that. Yeah. No, I love his guitar playing. So yeah, would you like to do the minting thing now, or?
Yeah, let's do the minting.
Okay, I think I enabled your screen sharing, hopefully.
Okay, I did. Yeah, here I'm going to start with. You can see this, right? Yeah, so
I can see it. Oh, I see. Yeah, I see some Pro Tools. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is a screenshot from Bobby D, and this is a posting from our website, and I assembled sort of an information page on the NFT. I would recommend that would be the first stop for everyone if you want to do this, is like actually just write out what it is with a long description. You're gonna have
go
to
Biscodini.com. Biscodini.com.
Yeah. So start by just telling everyone what it is. I think we're gonna do I'm gonna change this, I believe. We're gonna do 1 out of 50. Is that what we're talking about, Jesse?
Sure.
So,
I mean,
$10.
far be it for me to
1 out of 10 for $100.
change your business model on you, but yeah, whatever you'd like. I think 50 is great.
We're gonna try and expand our base a little bit. So let's do 1 out of 50 for $10.
All right.
See how many people we can get.
What if I buy them all?
Those Biscodini Boogaloo Remix Pack.
Hey, Scott, by the way, did you tell Jesse about what I sent you and John and Bobby D yesterday about that NFT?
What was that? Refresh my memory because it's early.
A guy minted a fart. Did you see that, Jesse?
No.
He sold it for $65.
85
or $85.
Okay, that's an audio NFT, not a music NFT.
So I'm thinking, wait a second, we're going about this all the wrong way.
Well, to a certain extent, I think we all are, because the things that really got famous with NFTs are things that are like purposefully stupid.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of like
serious things, right? And everyone's like, what? Well,
that was kind of like the app world, right? The app world. It was like, fart apps. You know, those
Yeah.
Well,
things
we're
are sold
minting,
like
we're
crazy.
minting content. We just want to make sure it's organic. I'm just not sure that's what everyone's thinking about.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, I got the link. I'll have to fix this link once we mint it. I'm going to go back and do this link again.
This is awesome.
What we got
Yeah,
is
man.
2 sessions. One is this will be the drum session. I think which one of these is the drum tracks broken down as you recorded them, the actual drum tracks.
Yeah.
The various microphones, and then one is the stems, the mix stems. So you're gonna have probably a full mix, and then you've got guitar, then organ, then left hand and right hand,
Yeah.
a drum mix.
The one on the right looks like the drums
Yeah.
stems on the right, and then the one
Yeah.
on the left in green, those look like the mixed stems.
Yeah. So then we've also got audio tracks are in the folders, which are easily accessible. All those, the Pro Tools gives you a thing called audio files. So you can open up those audio folders and you've got the original 2448 tracks. You can pull those right up into your whatever you're using there, right up into your watch.
Right, iWatch.
Yeah. Well, I've got Logic. I'm sure it would work with that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
It'll work in any DAW.
It's
Awesome.
importing. It's just importing audio, and I'm also gonna. I threw in there a MIDI file, a broken out MIDI file with a left hand bass and the right hand, which is, one of the greatest things with this Hammond digital organ. It's got a really good MIDI out and in. It can give you discrete outs based on the split of the keyboard, and it also records all the drawbar and Leslie and anything you can move, it records it as MIDI. So I can reassemble my actual performance, including the expression pedal, the Leslie on and off, Leslie speed, stop, all those things I can are recorded as MIDI. So I've got all that for this one tune.
So those are like separate MIDI tracks. They're not like automation data, or how does that work?
No, these are MIDI tracks. These are just,
Okay.
this is the way that, when MIDI came out in the mid 80s, it was, we started recording MIDI information onto a track before we could actually print audio into a computer. We did it with MIDI. So track by track. And a lot of people still work that way.
Yeah, no, MIDI is great for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then I just, I put our video here. This is pasted from SoundCloud. I would preview this tune, except YouTube will boot us off.
Yeah, they'll shut us down then.
And I'll do it in like a second and a half. So if credits, then I put the liner notes by Chris Morris, and that's that. So I do that, and then what I do is I go to my Word document, and I make a Word document, because what you have to do is get it under 500 characters, including space.
Oh, dude, you better shut that down.
What?
You got your Google Drive folder link in there.
Oh, I got the wrong one.
Oh man.
Ooh.
You might want to change that Google Drive link before you mint it now or something.
Oh, you're right.
Someone just screenshotted.
I just broadcasted the Google Drive link.
Yeah, the locked content or whatever.
Oh.
Well, this is a good lesson for everybody. That Google Drive link, right? That's your thing. And I mean,
Oh my God.
you can change that. You can change that in like 5 seconds, I'm sure, in Google Drive, but,
We'll wait.
yeah.
Okay, talk amongst yourself, and I will do that.
All right. Well, Kurt, yeah, man.
Jesse,
So,
where are you speaking from right now?
I'm in Iowa. It's a
Iowa, right.
horrible place that no one wants to talk about. But
No,
supposedly we get to choose the next president, but they didn't listen to me when I voted for Bernie, so I don't know. And where are you? You're in LA somewhere, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, just north of LA. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
No, it's Iowa. With everything that's gone down with this pandemic and everything, it seems like we've read about the mass exodus out of a lot of the major cities, and I know that there's been a lot of Californians that have moved out to Arizona, Iowa, Nevada, Texas, but it's just I don't know. Maybe it's time for everyone to just play musical chairs. We'll we'll move to another state or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
Well, the weird thing is, man, I mean, one of the reasons we moved here is like supposedly it's like one of the top states for like healthcare and all this. Like sometimes it's even ranked
Oh,
number
really?
one. And right now we're like 47th for vaccination.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
so that didn't really pan out so well. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, it's nice to live someplace where it's so cheap because I did live in California for a long time. I lived in Humboldt County for 8 years in the redwoods.
Oh, yeah.
Just living in the trees. No.
Right. No, it's beautiful up in Humboldt.
Oh, it really is. Yeah. I mean, the hiking there, I mean, oh my God,
I
there's
played at a
nothing like
little
it.
club near there, in a little town called is it Jalala, California? Jalala.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's right on the coastline. Really beautiful, just outside of Humboldt.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Beautiful.
So
that'd be
Jess,
nice.
I
Yeah.
think that
Show me.
for the purposes of this demo, I should use the old link,
Okay.
and I'll just, since I've already minted it,
Oh, you have.
I'm
Okay.
gonna burn. I'm gonna burn what I have because I'm gonna redo the link, obviously. But I could
Okay.
show the process and then just
Sure,
not
sure.
press the button, and then
Okay, sure.
because I think it's important to show the how to
But did
build
you
the.
did you at least delete that? So like, because that like went on a live stream. I don't know. I
I
hope you at
deleted the
least
file.
deleted
I
it. Okay.
deleted the file. So yeah,
Okay,
the link
good.
is no good.
Perfect.
No. So we can show the link, and it's the file's gone.
Good, good.
The file is gone. So I'll share the screen and I'll show you
Oscar.
the. Because
The
to me,
film
this
is
is
gone.
the most
Files
important
gone.
thing is that you get the description right. You got 500 characters. In fact, so what you have here from here to here, is what I thought I would post, and then here's what I ended up with by the time I edited it down. So the title's got to be 30 characters. So I got that in under the wire there. So
Nice.
this is you got to be really clear about what it is in the first sentence. So this is going to be a one of 50, right? So I'll fix this in the next iteration. Limited NFT sales, stems and drums, tracks, blah blah blah. And I want to be clear about what they're going to do. The box is wide, so you can make the sentences. They're going to be very long, but you're limited to what's in the actual wide format box. So make your descriptions not long lists, make them longer horizontally. This is what I've learned. And if you want to put a line break in there, it's going to take up space. It'll push these bottom links off the screen. So you might want to, what I ended up doing was, I think in the final, I ended up taking that out like that. So just anyway, you want to get your links, and I've got a Spotify preview link. Jesse showed me how to put the HTML code in there, so it comes up as a link, and not you don't see the actual HTTPS :/. You just see the link. You see this description with an underlining, then it's a hard link coded with this HTML wrapper there. Then you put your Spotify preview. Then I've got a link to the band website and the description I just showed you. So you want to go back and make sure you can change the name of your web page to change your URL slug, it's called, to reflect what this is, because WordPress might name it, 03/19/2001. There's a lot of people name their, there's a lot of really bad URLs out there. And for the purposes of Google and good communication, you want to have a good naming format for your URLs when you create the description.
Absolutely, for SEO,
Right.
and you got NFT in the title there. That's really good.
Yeah, I want to try. I'm going for keywords as a NFT remix package, and just stuff like that, because that's what Google's going to see. They're going to see Biscodini NFT remix. So just never hurts. It's not totally necessary to cater to the man Google, but I found that having really good links and URLs really helps you with your visibility in a bunch of projects I've done. So anyway, then I do that, and then we go to our friend Ghost Market. So Let's see where that is.
I just want to say for the record, Scott, I had no idea you're like this nerdy on the computer. You're
Yeah,
amazing.
it's
Wow.
Isn't he? He's
it's
crazy.
I'm a
Yeah,
nerd.
He's
you
just like
are.
rocking this like so hard. I mean,
I know, man.
it's
Like,
incredible.
Don't tell
yeah.
anybody. I won't tell anyone, Kurt. I won't tell anyone you're a jazz drummer if you don't tell anyone I'm a nerd. Okay.
Okay, deal.
I try and hide it, but it doesn't. I can't.
I know. I try to hide my jazz too. And one of my friends said, "You know, you're always speaking down about jazz." And he goes, "Do you realize everything that's connected to you when there's music playing underneath your picture is jazz?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're right." I think subliminally, I just choose it.
Okay,
I
so
host it. Go ahead, Scott.
let's go to the Ghost Market here. So this is your Ghost Market. This is the website.
Ah,
Oh yeah.
yes.
This is the new home of music NFTs, right? This is before we do this, why don't you, Jesse, why don't you just tell us what Ghost Market is and why it is the best platform for music? Because there's a lot of NFT platforms out there and everyone's selling them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And, it's unfortunate too that, I think a lot of them are leading musicians down an unfortunate path. But yeah, Ghost Market is, it's the first cross-chain marketplace. So already it has both Neo and Phantasma. But not only that, it's very expensive to mint on a lot of these platforms because they run on Ethereum and all of that. And so a lot of times you don't hear about the alternatives and they don't mention Ghost Market, but Ghost Market actually is, in my opinion, one of the fastest growing, well, it is the fastest growing for music, but I mean, it's the fastest growing alternative to Ethereum. And not only that, but the Phantasma chain in general, is just vastly superior. I don't want to be like, it's totally horrible to Ethereum because everyone loves it. But I mean, to me, it's like, it's painful to mint NFTs on Ethereum. You have to pay to initialize your wallet. You have to pay to mint like 30, 50, sometimes $100. You have to, the buyer has to pay $30 to $50 when they buy it, and these gas fees. And what you're paying for is mining this, environmental really like destruction. I mean, it's huge. The Ethereum network has the equivalent energy usage of like the country of Iceland. And it only processes 10 transactions per second. So everybody has to fight to get to one of those 10. So they pay higher and higher and higher fees to these miners. And the miners get all this Ethereum and they just get more and more power and they can block any improvements to the network. And so, it seems to be stuck. Whereas,
Whereas you guys have your own energy coin, you've got your own chain, you've got a much faster processor.
Right. Yes. At 5,000 transactions per second. The gas fees are almost non-existent. Sorry, someone called on my iMessage here or something right in the middle of it. But yeah, I mean, it's basically free to use in terms of gas. But not only that, I mean, the energy usage, I mean, I would say it's 99.99% efficient. It's probably a lot more nines. We haven't really like been able to measure it exactly. And in a certain sense, it can't really be measured accurately because the block times are different. Like for Phantasma, that no block is mined unless there's a transaction there to cause it to be mined, and then it's done instantaneously. So like the money's there right away, right? If you send it, if you create an NFT, it's done within like
Plus
2 seconds.
your buyer pays less fees than you pay. And to say it again, you can mint and mint and mint and burn them if you mess up.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Ghost Market is like, it's not just like 10 times better, it's like 100 times better than Ethereum. And that's why when I, was first coming up with this idea of the music NFT, something where it would be copyrighted, we could sell it like music as a collectible, I was looking at all the options out there and I felt like, man, I cannot send people down that road. I can't tell people, hey, go do this on Ethereum. Because I would be telling people, hey, go lose a bunch of money, go, create an asset. You're creating a blockchain asset that has a built-in liability. And so the price of Ethereum could go to $20,000 or something, right? And where would fees be then? And then, we already have people who have minted NFTs on Ghost Market and they want to bring over the material that they've minted on Rarible, but they can't afford the $50 or whatever it costs just to destroy their old NFTs on Ethereum.
Right. Imagine if you were buying a credit card and you didn't, the fee wasn't like, a set fee of like 5 cents or something. if you had to pay like 3%.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's even more. Like I saw one where like, someone wanted to buy something for $50 and the fee was like $150.
Right.
It just depends on that at that moment in the network, how busy it is. And yeah, I mean, I really feel like it's almost inevitable that Phantasma will win out in this. There's a lot of people trying to push things with, some what seems to be like wash trading or whatever, saying that, oh, this is the
Right.
place. We've seen some place where they claim to have a $25 million sale, but they had 13 users or whatever. And Phantasma doesn't try to fake it like that. Ghost Market doesn't have like the wash trading or anything. But what we do have is, I think, what is going to be the alternative and the environmentally friendly alternative for NFTs, and it's kind of inevitable. And so I really feel like by we as musicians getting in on the ground floor of this, we can be the ones who are the early adopters of this much better NFT platform, the NFT blockchain. And we'll be the Tyler Winklevosses or whatever this time, right? Because we'll have thousands or maybe even tens of thousands of Sol, and just like the people who had tens of thousands of Ethereum are sitting pretty now. Hopefully, in a year or so, we'll be those people because we did this. And I would love for it to go to music because, musicians, the music industry have had such a hard year. And I mean, you guys have persevered. This is amazing. But so many people haven't, so many people have really just had an awful time, And so if we can, have a situation where even people who are getting $200 or $300 or whatever it is, if that could grow into something enormous, imagine getting, $200 or $300 worth of Ethereum when it was $1 or whatever it was,
Right. So not only the asset, the coin that backs it can grow, and your property can grow in value also as you expand your reach and become more well known, or get a bigger audience, do more things. It's the most amazing. I remember when when all these other movements started, over the past couple decades. This is what it feels like, except this feels different because you can get a 10% royalty on your you can get an any percent royalty, 50%. You can set the royalty.
That's right. Yeah.
There's no middleman. We're not Ghost Market doesn't have a company. It's just a bunch of computer code, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No, you don't even have an account on there. It's just your wallet interacting with the site. They kind of work in concert. And I mean, yeah, you own everything. You're creating this token. People are getting it directly from you. Absolutely. It's just all done with smart contracts, actually.
It's an outgrowth of just the new millennium and the individuality that we all have now, because everyone's got a webcam and a microphone, and we can go worldwide in a second, right? That's the most amazing thing.
It's like, who can adapt the fastest? And it's weird, I think some of us happen to be in this position, luckily, and we should be grateful for that, and we should try to help other people. And I think just by doing this, you're helping other people because you're helping bring attention to it, and the fact that you're doing this and you're talking about it, it really means a lot, I think, to music, and you're showing the way for people.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
It's going to be a way for anyone to get anything out there and get money for it right away. I mean, obviously, I think there's going to be a glut in the market for a lot of stuff, and things are going to have to even out. People have to discover Ghost Market and Sol, and discover how it's not easy to necessarily do all this stuff, but eventually, you guys are going to start taking credit cards soon, right?
Yes. I believe that's like 2-3 weeks away at this point.
Right. So we don't have to do a swap to get Sol, and then figure all that stuff out.
You got to pay the early adopter tax a little bit now. You have to like buy Bitcoin and then buy Sol. It is an extra step, but again, once those things happen, like the fiat on ramp, which is the credit card, or any number of other things, including hopefully some kind of a mainnet token listing on a big exchange. I mean,
you get a DEX listing, and that would be great. You could get paired, get $1 pairing and stuff. And
people always wonder, well, why isn't Sol on those when I see these crappy coins on there? Well, that's because you can pay $1 million and give them 1% of your token supply, and you can get on there. Sol doesn't just, it isn't just printed out of thin air. It has very, very low inflation, much lower than Ethereum or other coins. And they haven't done that. They haven't just, handed 1% of the supply to Binance or whatever. And
so you're saying Sol has like more intrinsic value, even as the price goes up, it's going to be like a real value, and not just a speculative, inflative because that's what's happening with a lot of these altcoins. Is that
Exactly. Yeah, they have. Well, there was one they just announced today that everyone's trying to push, like Ecomi. It doesn't even have a blockchain or whatever, and it's got like 150. I don't know the exact number. It's like 150 billion or something. It's like this enormous supply or whatever, right? Sol, I think it's still under. Yeah, Sol. Well, no, I mean 150 billion coins or something, and they got it up to like 1 cent or something. It's just absurd. I don't know if it's 150 billion, but it's a lot. And Sol, of course, is under 100 million, and with only 3% inflation, right? And it's still at, I think last I saw it was like 56, 55 cents or something. So
yeah,
I
I
mean,
think it's over. Yeah. So let's not get too much into the weeds with the crypto talk.
yeah,
So
yeah.
let's go back and make some music here.
Absolutely.
This is I minted this last night. This is what the final product will. This is our auction. Right. This is our auction from last week. So
Which is going till when?
it's going till 2nd of April.
Ah, we have 14 days left.
Yeah, 14 days. And we got over 1,000 sold being bid. That's about $600. So anyway, all you got to do to make an NFT is go out and get yourself a Poltergeist wallet. And I won't show you my wallet, hopefully. Let you know.
Yeah, go slow.
Don't put your private key on the
Piano.
Broadcast my wallet on the. That'd be great. I wouldn't be the first, right?
Oh, you'd be famous then. Really famous.
All right. You have 7 cents. What? Create NFT, right? It's this easy. This is how easy it is. Upload your image. This is like making a listing on eBay.
Yep.
Upload your NFT listing. I'm going to go get the cover art.
So that, anything you put there is public. That's like the public part of the NFT. And if you put an MP4 preview, then people could right click save as on it.
Yeah. Personally, I don't like animated covers, but since this is the only opportunity to put anything that moves or plays in the listing, you might want to consider, doing an animation. I tried to do an animation of the actual Pro Tools session playing Biscodini Boogaloo.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't get my recorder to record the sound card audio out of the computer for some reason when it wasn't working.
You could have done it as a QuickTime movie, correct?
Yeah, I could have done it as a QuickTime movie and synced it with a different.
All right, now we're getting to tech talk. Sorry.
Here we go. Anyway, these are all things that, it's a cottage industry. It's a new industry. So you're sitting at home. So got to figure this stuff out. Everyone's trying to figure out how to do this at the same time. So basically what I've got is, these are old links, so they're not going to work. I'm going to take, my initial, hold on a second, having trouble with the screens. I'm going to unshare and copy and paste here. Yeah, for some reason, Microsoft Word is not cooperating.
Microsoft Word, imagine that.
Yeah, really. I'll just quit it. I'm not sharing screen right now, am I?
No, you are not. No. Why? What's on there?
Yeah. I just force quit Microsoft Word. What do you know?
No, you're not. As we're digging into your wallet.
Right. As I'm broadcasting my wallet. Right. Okay. So here's Biscodini. I'm gonna cut and paste from Microsoft Word. First, I'm gonna do. So let's go back to screen share. Okay, you can see that, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna paste in Biscodini Boogaloo. Looks like I only copied
Bodini.
Biscodini Boogaloo remix package. Now I'm not going to put any quotes here or anything because I don't have room. I can't even put the right kind of spaces there. So
yeah, we've been harassing them to increase the number of characters on Ghost Market, and I think they are going to do all that for sure. But yeah, for us music people, it's pretty tough.
So in here, I'm gonna. I already did this once, so I did all the spacing right. So I know this is going to work. My custom NFT description to copy right from my Microsoft Word document or my text editor or whatever I use. And I've previewed this, and I think on the last one, I think I want to do this. I think I want to take this line break out right here.
Wow, you got it right under 5. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
492. Yeah.
We're 92. Look at you.
So there you can see the links. The links are done with the HTML brackets, so that they're going to show up as hard links, and they won't be as long as this. So this will just be 2 lines, and then you'll have room at the bottom for the copyright notification.
Mm-hmm.
And all this
That's
stuff
nice.
is there. I'm going to set the music, and I want 10% royalty.
Oh, do you see that new one that just popped up there? That's a brand new one. They just added that for genre. You can choose the genre for.
Oh yeah, genre. Okay, genre. What I mean, what is this?
I don't know.
I hate to call it jazz because it's got such a.
I know this puts everyone on the spot. The very first question, as soon as they announce the genres, is, "Can I choose more than one?"
Yeah, they really should do that because I hate to call this jazz.
I know.
You know what the next best thing would be instrumental above it. Correct?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to say jazz.
Yeah.
Okay. This is not going to be final, so we're just doing a rough draft here. So I'm going to do quantity 50, right? Is that what we said? 50? Can I just enter? I can just enter 50, or do I have to use the clicker?
Oh, you can type in 50, yeah, and then you make sure to do the max.
This is my question for you, Jesse. Maximum supply is 50, right? It's never going to be
50 of 50, yeah. And you don't have to do all 50 at once, but you might as well, since I believe you have the kcal.
I don't need to infuse it because it automatically does, right?
It automatically infuses 1 kcal so that if you burn it, you'll have some gas to do anything you need to do on the network. But yeah, it's not necessary to include a gift for the people.
Now here's my question, Jesse. If I just mint only, right, as it's set now, can I then sell it later, or do I just mint it?
Yeah, I mean, was this one that you weren't actually going to sell? Is that right?
This is one I'm gonna redo the link and
yeah,
put it
yeah.
in
So definitely don't do the marketplace listing there. But
okay.
But yeah, actually, and in fact, if you want to do auctions, you do have to do mint only and then start the auction in a separate step. This is just if you want to just, sell them all for the same price and just do it really easy and quick.
So I can mint and then sell later?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
And lock content, this is the important thing. And this is where my file is. This is going to be my Google Drive link.
Absolutely. And since you've already burned it, you can just put it right in there and show everybody, I guess.
Yeah, right. I'll put that here. This is a dead link, by the way, so people don't copy and paste it. There it is.
Very cool.
So, and then I'm just going to check it out. I mean, that's it.
Yeah. And you wouldn't even necessarily have to click mint if you didn't want to spend the kcal on this, right? If you.
Well, let's do it and see what happens.
Okay, sure.
Confirm it. What it costs, like 10 cents, right?
Let's see. According to that is now $20 because you're minting 50 of them. So it's 20 kcal for the first one plus 4 kcal for each additional, and that's just to prevent spamming. Okay.
I got a Poltergeist wallet notification. It's actually talking to my wallet, so it's going to put this digital asset in my wallet. So I got to use my password. Yep. You can't see this, right?
Yeah, no, we don't see this. Yeah, he's confirming. He's got to confirm inside the wallet.
Yeah, great keyboard player, but
fee is 0.00543 kcal, which is, and that's nothing. Okay.
And that price will probably be coming down. It's just kcal has been going up a lot in price, and
yeah,
when they set that fee, it was like 20 cents or something, and it's the actual network fee is like 0.004 kcal per NFT.
Right. So I'm going to refresh my wallet and I'm close the browsing window, and in about 20 seconds we'll get a verified transaction.
It takes a second to actually. Yeah, it takes a second to actually show up on the site, but yeah, not too long. It should show up in your wallet under My NFTs and all that.
So I'm going to go to My NFTs. It's reading the blockchain, right?
Yep. Yes, there's
So,
no like,
again, nothing is on the website. It's everything is just a front end for the blockchain.
right, yeah. And this is it's what's called a decentralized app, or DApp, right?
Right.
So
Exactly.
you're the one running it basically.
So anyway, it's done, and hopefully at some point I'll get the notification. I'll refresh my wallet and I see if it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You would have to refresh your wallet to see it there and all that. Let's see you at I think you're on the top of the hot bids, or maybe it's Robot Nature at the moment because they're ending today.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone, check out that Robot Nature. 8 hours left. 8 hours left on that one, but
So this is ours. This is Belladonna and Robot Nature. Those guys are awesome.
yeah, definitely.
Richard and
And,
Deepak, man.
and when does the album one end? That's not until April, right? The
Yeah,
Biscodini
yeah.
Organ Trio
This is
lockdown.
just they're testing the waters. They got 8 hours left, and they're making what, $1,000 already. This is a
Yeah.
band. Imagine a band is making $1,000 on a sale. Indie band, from Southern California. When has that happened before? I mean, they're not making 0.0004 cents a play on Spotify. They're making real
This
money.
is actual.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll be worth a lot more when all the rest of those musicians come in here. And Belladonna actually has had some enormous press. I guess they're really big in Italy. We've been seeing all these huge articles from, I guess the equivalent of Reuters or something in Italy. And yeah, they've done soundtracks for a bunch of movies and stuff. It's great to see all these huge names coming in. And
Yeah.
it's
So
really
here's
fun.
here's the one I did last
Internationally,
night.
too.
This is the rough draft I did last night. This is the one we just did right here. So that's the auction. We haven't gotten a confirmation on the one I just minted, but anyway, this would be yes. So I've noticed that the website, since it's not a website, it doesn't behave like one.
Yeah, you may have to go to wallets and then refresh. Do you see? Sorry.
There, my wallets.
Sure. Yeah, I think. But then also, do you see the where it's the next to activity, where it says wallets? Sorry, I can't point, but no, it's actually on the screen, not in the menu. But it's
Well, anyway, you get the idea.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. So there's just this little refresh button under the wallets tab there, and then that one should show up at that point. But yeah, it just reads your wallet, so it wouldn't know that the thing was minted unless it reread your wallet again.
Right.
you were saying.
Yeah, I want to refresh my wallet and see if it's there yet.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Anyway, so there you go. Yeah,
Awesome.
I got my 70 Ghost assets here. So
Yeah.
those would
Okay.
be
Well, you must have it then, right?
that's the 50 I did just now and the 20 I did last night. These are all both rough drafts, but they're digital assets.
Well, that's a good point, actually. I mean, it's good to play around, and you could not do this on Ethereum. You couldn't just be like, "Hey, I'm going to mint a bunch of these and try it, and then I'll burn those." And that's what we're doing over here on Phantasma, on Ghost Market.
we're
We're like
figuring
mad NFT scientists, and like you were saying, one of the things that we just figured out was how to put like a Spotify preview in there. Not to give Spotify any attention, because man, we don't really like them, but I mean, it's nice that you can embed a player, and we're trying to figure it out with YouTube videos too. You can now embed like an iframe tag in the HTML, and you just have to convert those double quotes to single quotes the way you did with the link tag there. And yeah, I mean, you can embed a player now in that description, and maybe we can talk about that. Maybe you'll want to do that, but it is kind of a lot of HTML, so it takes up a lot of room in your description.
Yeah, I think that we start getting into that, we're going to start confusing everybody. So
Yeah, totally.
everyone in the marketplace, we start like saying, oh, we can have these fancy players and whatever. We start focusing on the players, but what we really need to focus on is that the digital asset is actually just the link. You're buying a link. You're buying a hard link.
I agree.
Never gonna go away, and you're buying you're buying a description with a coded link, and you'll have it forever. And the actual asset itself doesn't exist on the blockchain. This is another thing people are confused about.
Yeah, and I actually like the idea of having a link to YouTube. I mean, that was my original idea, was to have the
Right.
link. And I mean, now that we're finding that you can actually embed a YouTube video, I mean, I still think maybe it's better to have the link, because then it sends you to the actual YouTube site and you can, subscribe and like, and, there should hopefully be like a link back to Ghost Market in the description, and then that authenticates it. And you see that, oh, okay, this really does come from this person. It's not copyright infringement or
And the
something.
thing is, imagine if you bought a CD and it came with a hard link that was personalized and was there forever. That's what this is like. We're creating a permanent record of this transaction and of the actual asset.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
your YouTube link that goes to our YouTube site, that's going to be there forever. So if we sell 1,000 NFTs, we're going to have 1,000 people linking directly to our YouTube account,
Exactly.
and that'll increase hopefully our subscribers, but it'll just it'll make the Google happier. It makes
Oh,
everybody
absolutely.
happier. So we have a
Yeah,
network of stuff that is actually we have tangible results from a very intangible, weird, new method of doing business.
and the
And
links that you put out there too, like, you've got that article and everything, that's going to continue to help the buyers who buy these sell those into the future, because those links will still be the link to the NFT no matter who
right.
owns it.
Imagine if you played something on Spotify and it took you right to the artist website. That's sort of what it's like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
would be
this-
impossible to do, and it would bypass the middleman, and people would get angry because they wouldn't be getting their fee. And also, if anyone sells this asset, they have to put it back up on the blockchain. It's registered. The smart contract is registered, and as soon as they click buy, we get 10%.
Right. Yes, forever. Yeah. And it
Boom.
will always go to that wallet too, like even 1,000 years from now. So this is something people even have to kind of plan for a little bit. Like,
Right.
what would, if something happened to me, like, where would I keep my private keys for my family kind of thing.
Yeah. Also, we have to figure out the whole digital rights management too thing, because that's going to be you have to decide before you write it into the blockchain. You have to decide what the publishing split is. For example, when we start to figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
easy for us because we own it, and I can put it in my wallet, and I know that I'm going to send the band, their cut. But in the future, we're going to have a way to do multi-wallet splits, or some sort of way
That's
to.
definitely in the works. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you could, if you were like a genius developer, like do the smart contract yourself now, but I have not tried that myself.
That's
But
next. Is it being able to put up a cover tune and pay mechanical royalties and whatever.
Scott's going to come up with that skin by tomorrow.
No.
So don't worry.
Well, they're working on something that will actually be like inside the wallet for payment splitting. And so, maybe you'll be able to set up a certain address, and anything that goes to that address will automatically just be split among parties in a certain
Yeah, they'll
way.
have to have
So-
another contract that'll do that. Another, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be like kind of a template contract that'll just be easy for anyone to use. Yeah, that is important. And that's something that, like just hasn't been as big of a deal for art people, because, maybe they'll have a collab, but for the most part, those people are working, independently. Whereas
And
we
also
all
the
have to
thing
work
about
together.
the blockchain is cumulative. So it's like you're building a library, and the library is a public ledger. So after 100 years, we're going to have a library of music. It's going to be like, the world library, the world
Yeah.
brain.
And
gonna
just
be
think,
all
when you
over.
have all these NFTs and you're getting royalties on all of them, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the dream right there.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
if it were a Van Gogh painting selling for $500 million, the Van Gogh estate would get 50 million.
Yeah, that doesn't happen now, that's for sure.
No.
So in a way, it's better even than the art world. I mean, we kind of wanted to make music an investment like art, but it's actually better. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you coming on. We should probably wrap it up.
Okay.
I know we've all got stuff going on, but yeah, I just I really appreciate everything you're doing, and I can't wait to see that. I'll make sure to send out a link for everybody, like in the Telegram groups and also on Twitter, twitter.com/house of NFT.
Yeah, you want
And
to follow Jesse on Twitter. Definitely. That's really, I found
House
that's a
of
very
NFT,
valuable
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
House of
and
NFT.
and you guys should make sure you give your links one last time here so everyone has that.
It's a biscodini.com, Right, that's our website, and we're on Twitter, Biscodini Music. Insta is the same, Biscodini Music. I'm on Facebook, Scott Healy Music. Blue Dog Music, that's my website, but mainly go to Biscodini Music and see all this stuff. Ghostmarket.io, Phantasma.io,
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, man.
etc., etc.
Et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, really appreciate having you on. And hopefully we can talk again soon. And I will be looking for those NFTs and refreshing the page all day.
Yeah, so try and get that up before I have to leave the house here.
All right, man. Well, you guys take care, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Thank you.